Welcome back, Rare Talks. You already know where it is. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't, make sure you go over to the Spotify and check out the exclusive episodes on the Spotify. And today, I'm joined by two special guests. Yeah? One's called the Unhinged Feminist, which they call her, but that's not really her name. And we're with Zubaida. Yeah?
Hi.
Introduce yourselves, actually. Why am I introducing you?
All right.
Go on, sis.
Okay, so I'm T Siddiqui, the Unhinged Feminist. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm T Siddiqui.
T Siddiqui, check her out. She got her own YouTube channel. She's actually kind of big still. And we also have...
Zubaida Al-Arabi. I could see you guys again.
Okay, let's get straight into it. What happened with Pearl? Because I see a sick video the other day. Yeah, I see a video of you lot talking about what happened on the podcast because I didn't even know about it. I just saw some clip and I was like, oh damn. And then I see the reaction video as well. You know me, a man's into the social medias, but it could be perceived that you lot are hating on Pearl because she's successful. Is this what it is? So I want you lot to tell me what's going on.
Okay, so firstly, we're not haters. We don't hate. So let's just get that out of the way. We don't tolerate disrespect. She disrespected, and another one of members of her staff tried to disrespect it because that's what they do, innit? They bring people on and disrespect them, but they got the wrong one this time. So I'm a real one, innit? I don't change. Cameras, no cameras. They tried to disrespect it, and then I went 0 to 100. Maybe I shouldn't have gone to that extent, but what happened is what it is. But no, we're definitely not no haters here. I am. I have a lot of people around me who are very successful. And when I say successful, I mean successful. Her, to me, she's not that successful, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not no hating thing, to be honest with you. Like T said, it's mainly about disrespect, but also looking into her deeply and her content, I do think that she has to be challenged. I think there's this, she's promoting a certain narrative, right?
What narrative?
This sort of, so she claims to be anti-feminist. Fair enough. We can rock with that. You know, I don't support feminism. But it's the way that she's going about it, and it seems like she's not working towards any solutions. It's more about bringing people, exploiting their situations for views and clout. And this is where I feel like she's completely redirected from what she's supposed to be talking about to just using her platform as some sort of Jerry Springer show. And I think...
Where do you think she got that from? Where do you think that she got the concept of her topics from? Where do you think it came from?
I don't think we need to think we know where it came from. It came from Andrew Tate,
Kevin Samuels.
What's the Myron? What's his one? Fresh and Fit.
Fresh and Fit, yep.
Yeah. So that's basically where she got the concept from. 100%. She's trying to be like a female version of them. A female version.
But can a female be a version of a man?
No.
Isn't that the most masculine thing then?
Exactly.
Isn't that the same thing that she goes against?
Exactly.
True.
I'm not with or against anyone, but what I will say is that I saw some of her content and I agreed with some things that she said.
Me too.
But what I don't like is a woman. I find it weird. It's like a man, and I'm constantly like on the side of women. Like, not to say...
And he would be called a simp if he does that.
Yeah, but you might just think that I've got some like issues going on. You know what I'm saying? I would think that the man's got some issues. If everything, and he doesn't back men in the slightest, then I'd think, like, what's going on, bro? Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
do you understand? Like, if you're 100% men, but you're nothing for women, then are you even a woman?
Yeah, something's not right there.
Something's not right, and that's why I like, for me, yeah, call me conspiracy theorist, whatever you like, yeah, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like she's some sort of agent or working for somebody. Like it almost seems like it's a bit of a social experiment, because how can you like, how can you be as a woman and just be dedicated to like bashing women? Like, it doesn't make sense.
The only thing I don't like about Pearl, if I'm keeping it honest, I like what she's saying, but I don't like
what is she saying?
The geographic of the people that she's bringing onto her podcast. So I go a little bit further and a little bit deeper than you lot, and I look at things a little bit deeper. I think a white woman controlling a room full of black people, it just reminds me, it gives me slave master wives vibes. I'm sorry, that's what the vibe it gives me. Like the way that she's controlling the narrative of the room. Like she can speak, she does this, she's got the
Yes.
It sounded like an African guy when you was on it that was telling everyone to be quiet.
Yes.
So I'm just getting this. Her engineer's an African guy. Do you see where I'm going? She got this other black guy there that agrees everything she says. Yes, man. To the point where it's actually a little bit disturbing.
Yes.
He never challenges her. And then she's allowed to talk to all of the people of ethnic minorities in a certain way and get away with it if we don't agree with her. So that's my only little grievance that I have when I watch that podcast. I just think it's some idiots in car. I just couldn't sit there and let her. Even me as a man, yeah, I would agree with her, but I would disagree with her on the podcast. Do you know why? Because I'd be like, this is boring. We're all just saying the same thing.
Yep.
Let's bring some excitement to this shit.
Yes, it's repetitive.
But
like repetitive.
a lot of the topics, and this is gonna sound, I'm a hater now, but a lot of the topics that she discussed are 100% stolen from me.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I got proof of that. Like, I heard a man saying the same thing my co-host said once, and I was like, you ain't slick, bro. You ain't slick.
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything because if there was anybody that would be on that platform, it would have been me and my co-host. But obviously we ain't gone on there, and I don't even really want to go on there if I'm being honest, because I feel like, you know, when something gets played out for too long, yeah, like there's only so long you could talk about women's topics until you have to start talking about some real life stuff, man.
Yeah.
You know, life is deeper than just certain like you've had that fun, but like there's other things you can talk about as well. Even though, like, for her as a woman, I can't see how she can keep talking down to women being a woman. Does it make sense?
Yes.
It's how long do you keep up the charade for until you
She's a-
actually come into a feminine energy to be a vulnerable woman like all other women?
She's
Right.
a female misogynist.
And have you noticed, yeah? And this is just gonna sound like I'm watching things too closely, yeah? How come she don't really go on other people's podcasts in the UK?
You know, I'll tell you why. Because there's she's been on other people's podcasts, I think in the US, I'm not sure. But the thing is with Pearl, when you take her out of her
Comfort zone.
her podcast, her people, her agenda, and put her, and she goes into somebody else's, that's when you can see the dumbness. How dumb she is. And if you read the comments there, because obviously it's somebody else's page, so it will be people who are not following her. The majority of the comments are actually calling out how dumb she is. Like, she's so dumb, it's unbelievable how dumb she is. As soon as she steps out of her narrative and the little bubble thing she's got going on, it's peak.
But you know what it
It's
is
game
as well,
over.
right? It seems like a lot of the stuff that she says is very scripted. So, like, that's probably why when she's out of her comfort zone, she ain't got her handlers telling her what to say. And so she has to come up with the points on her own. And aside from what she's being told, what points do you have? What are you really saying? Because I even watched her live the other day, and it seemed like she was putting on some sort of character. It seemed like she was playing up to the audience. And this is why I said last time about American culture and British culture. Like, things, the way that American do things is a lot of it is quite cinematic and it's quite animated, and it's like I don't feel like it's raw or sincere, and that's what I saw in her character. I feel like this person is been sent here to cause controversy. A lot of the stuff that she's saying is scripted because, like we've all agreed, it's kind of strange for a woman to have so much animosity. It's not normal behavior. So it's either you're being paid to do this stuff or there's something more sinister going on here.
Something personal,
Right.
Yeah, something personal. Because I mean, I don't know. I heard that she tried to do this in America, but I don't think it worked. And she came over here and it lifted off for her. So that's probably why she's not doing it back in her own country. But my thing is this, yeah. A lot of what she says, I agree with. She does make a lot of good points.
Like what though?
However, like, for example, the feminists,
Right.
yeah, they have gone a bit too far with feminism. You know, their attitudes and the way they behave and the things that they expect. Like, she's but so have some of the men. So this is everything. Like, there's always, like, nothing's perfect. There's always, like, if there's a down, there's a up.
100%.
If there's a left, there's a right.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? If there's a up, there's a down. It can't be just specifically women. So if she held men accountable as well, she would probably be very...
No, but what I'm saying is, from a man's perspective, I can understand it could just be all women, because that's all he's dealt with. But as for a woman being all women, it's a little bit weird because men's who you dealt with. So wouldn't you be able to shine light on the fuckeries that men have done against you or haven't done
But I
against
don't
you?
think she's had a lot of interaction with men, and I say this with all due respect because, like I said this earlier, just looking at her, she's not stunning, she's not gorgeous, right? And I think she knows that. So I don't think she gets the same male attention as you know, a stunning woman does. So it's easy for her to come with these narratives because she is not a girl that's having to deal with a lot of men throwing themselves at her. You know, from what we've seen, she had a relationship with one guy, which we'll discuss, you know, shortly. But the thing is, it's like, you're not getting these constant male interactions because you're just not that girl. Men are not throwing themselves at you because there's nothing really
So
special.
She can never understand what it's like for a pretty woman, a pretty girl. She can't understand. She can't relate to that.
She can't relate to being a mother because she's never had a children. She can't relate to being a wife because she's never been married. So why are you talking about things that you simply don't understand? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And then she wants to talk about modesty. Have you seen the way she dresses? Like, come on. And she's got long legs. And she's wearing short dresses. That's not modest.
Facts.
That's not modest.
Well, again, she talks about modern women and women chasing careers. But what are you doing? When are you going to have time to settle down and find a husband? You sit there. The way that she's living right now is going to be very hard for her. She's established. She's created this whole platform. Is she really willing to give up her platform for a husband? Is she really going to close that 1 million subscribers, shut it down, no more podcasts, get married, have children, and call it a day? But yet you want to judge.
No, but I think that she's smoking someone in a establishment. I just have that in my heart because why would she be over this long if there's nothing going on for her sexually? The way she talks is like a submissive woman. So who's she submitting to?
Oh,
I need names
well.
because she can call other women out against it.
Yeah, exactly. You see, this is my thing.
This
right?
is where my whole narrative for her changes. You call out other women for doing madness, so you've got to be the cleanest or most established.
Yep, don't
Yeah,
Right.
relationship wise, you got to be showing us the example that you've been preaching.
Don't throw stones in glass houses.
So I just want to know, like,
that's my thing.
which it's not about. It's about who.
All right, cool. Let's break this down, yeah? Let's break this down. How old is she? She's 26, right? So you're 26, you've never been married, you've got no kids, yeah? She's not a virgin. We know that because we know she's had an ex, yeah? So you've lost your virginity before you got married, so that's the first.
Oh,
You know, she's always talking about virginity. Your virginity's out the window, right? So and then you want to talk about modesty. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is, you're 26. How come nobody's put a ring on your finger?
Oh.
How come you ain't got no kid with anybody? Like, you know? And then she did have a boyfriend, an ex, who was actually a famous TikToker,
oh.
right? And apparently she cheated on him. And then you want to talk about...
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, she cheated on him.
Whoa. Yeah, the thing is, allegedly, but this is coming from his mouth, by the way. This ain't coming from no third party.
Yeah, but he might just be bitter, man. He might have done a madness.
He might be, but the point is, you're preaching modesty, you're preaching women are hoes, but you're the guy that you was with claimed that you cheated on him. So it's not, whether it's true or not, it's about the irony.
And then she always asks the question to women, so why are you still not with him? Did you leave? Was you the first to leave? So why is she not with her ex? Did she leave? And if she didn't and he did, then why did he leave?
I don't think that these questions can be asked by her because from what it seems like, she's not somebody who's going to answer those questions.
Exactly. She's never answered the question, how many bodies you got? So she goes around and she says, well, you know, if you think that body count doesn't matter, then why don't you just tell us what your body count is? But she's never ever spoke about her body count.
Because she knows that body count does matter. So why would she speak about it?
Exactly. And the thing is also another thing, I have to say this out here. I have to say this, right? Because I have a daughter myself, right? So to all the young girls out there, do not go on her podcast. When people ask you questions about how many bodies you got and that, do not answer those questions. That's personal questions that could affect you in your life. You speak things like that and you put that. You can't, once something's out, it's out. You can't take it back. And then there is going to come a point in your life when you are going to want to settle down and get married.
But why do you think they asked this? Because
one sec.
Go on.
When a man's seen your video and you're there talking about your body counts, you ain't getting married. No man's going to marry you. So what you're actually doing is detrimental to these women out here. Like, for example, the woman who, I'm not going to mention her name, okay, but she's messaged me. This girl, she did it to this girl. She set her up. She got somebody this girl thought that this person was her friend. She didn't realize she was going on Pearl's podcast. She thought it was somebody else's. She came, she never gave no consent, no nothing. They filmed, she asked her what her body count was. I don't know what the answer she gave her was. But after it, she said to Pearl, look, please, like, please don't release this footage because, you know, I look after my mum. I'm my mother's carer. I'm going through depression. I've tried to commit suicide before, and this is just going to basically take me back to that place. Please allow me to live my life and look after my mum. Pearl told her no.
No, but let me be real with you. Never go to a place that you're unsure of. So more fault to her. She has to take some accountability.
100%.
Yeah, she shouldn't have been pulling up and wanting some little bit of fame, and then it ended up you getting slain.
100%.
So in hindsight, she deserved what she got. I can't feel sorry for someone.
No, you can't. You can't say no.
You can't cry victim.
No, you can't say she deserved it.
No one forced you to go there, and
of
no one
course
forced you to speak. You could have halfway got up and said, "Oh fuck, this is just not working for me. Let me get the fuck out of here." Just like you done, you got up and
but
left.
let me just say something about that.
In the end, what was going to happen is it was going to get more disrespectful for you. Let's just be real. That was the start of the disrespect. And remember, from what I saw on the video, it's like you tried to talk once, tried to talk twice. They were just violating you. So to the point where either you switched or not, they were just gonna, they had the intention they were going to violate you. So even if you stayed there and you tried to have a reasonable conversation, they would have violated you and made you clickbait, which they did anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is, I hear what you're saying, right? T is emotionally mature enough to understand that this is not working, I'm getting out of here. But the thing is, what I find that what she's doing is she's almost trapping a lot of vulnerable women, because the thing is, women are very more emotionally inclined. So some of these women are so naive that you can feed them a lie and they're going to generally believe it's the truth. And so when you say to women, hey, I've got a platform, you can come on here, you can share your story, it's okay. Like women, especially when they're not, because you see what it is, you see when it comes to like grooming, I'm going to use the most craziest example, you see grooming gangs. You know, a lot of the people that were involved in that were actually women. It was actually women that were luring other young girls in, because women have the skills and they come across more trustworthy. So you don't really assume that another woman's going to do you like that because she's another woman. So when they tell these women, hey, you're going to go on this girl's podcast and it's all going to be, these girls, because of their naivety, they're going to just feel naturally to trust her. And then they go there and they get set up. Like, trust me. So it doesn't mean that she deserves it. Of course, she doesn't deserve it, but she should take accountability for sharing such private information on a public platform. But nobody deserves to have their private information exploited and be humiliated. Nobody deserves that. But she should have thought twice about going on there sharing that.
Can I just add something onto that? Me personally, if that was me and I filmed her, right, and she said those things, and I knew I can go viral, it's good content, right? If she calls me and explains her situation to me and tells me that she's looking after her mother, she is her mother's carer, right? You see, just that alone, I'll have so much respect for this female, right? And then I'll see that she's in a state and that I could possibly push her into suicide. I will say to her, do you know what, sis? I'm not going to put it out. That's the person I am. I don't care about no viral, no how much, I don't care. I care more about another human being who's looking after another human being. Like, you've put out your content, you've got whatever you've got. This woman is still suffering till this day. This woman is still in therapy till this day. Like, we're talking about people's lives here. People's lives are at stake here. People are thinking about suicide. Like, but
you know what, this is why I agree with Rare Talks here. I have been in the same situation where I have come online, I have acted an absolute downfall, I've said the most ridiculous things, behaved in the most ridiculous way, and now I'm looking back on it 3 or 4 years later, I do regret a lot of the things that I've done. I've reached out to some of the channel owners and said, yo, just remove my video, and they're not trying to remove it. But so am I going to blame them, or am I going to blame myself for because nobody forced me. Again, I willingly acted a downfall on camera and it got posted online. I have to take accountability. Am I going to sit there and allow it to ruin my life? No. I'm just going to treat it as a part of my journey. Yes, that's me then. This is me now. You ain't going to hold what I did 3-4 years ago against me. I'm going to level up and move up. But some people, again, are just not built like that, you know? And so this is where I think I agree with your message about raising awareness and telling women to take accountability. When you come onto these online platforms, do not share certain public information, because you're gonna end up looking back on it and regret. And one thing as well I realized about how naive women are, right? Some of them like come online, they discuss their personal life, and they think that they're gonna get some sort of therapeutic response from the public. The public are gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, is that what you're really going through?" No, They are going to rip you and they're going to shred you. I don't know I don't know what world people think we live in, like where they think people are just generally so kind-hearted and they're generally going to offer you a helping hand. It's not. No, it doesn't work like that. And I've seen women innocently, naively come online, share an argument they've had with their boyfriend, or share something personal about themselves, or show a picture of their child, and then when they get all these hate comments, they sit there and think, oh my god, people are bullying me, people are targeting me. You don't deserve that. But you should have thought twice, and you should have actually understood that the environment that you're putting yourself in.
You gotta have thick skin. You have to have thick skin for this industry, and thank God, because obviously I do music and I've been in it for a few years. So to me, it's nothing. You know, I can handle it. Especially like, for example, my situation. Certain people were ringing me up saying to me, "Oh, hi T, how are you? Like is everything okay?" Like thinking that I'm affected by what had happened. But the truth is, I'm not affected by it at all. And okay, cool. If I could change it, would I go back on there again? No, I wouldn't.
Right.
Because there was nothing beneficial came out of that. So no, I wouldn't. However, do I feel any way about it? No, I don't. Like,
I've been moved for the last week and you've been fine.
I don't feel any way about it. I came on a show, you tried to disrespect me, I put you in your place, you folded. You know what I'm saying? That's it, done. Like, I never went on there and was naked. You know what I'm saying? Or had a sex tape. Or like, I'm cool. Like if people think that me standing up for myself is crazy, then that's down to
exactly.
Them. That's not my problem. Like, I'm good. My mum's good with me. My dad's good. My brothers are good. My family's are good. I'm good. My friends are good. Like, nothing else really, like,
absolutely
matters, you know?
Well, I mean, because again, like you say, you thick skin, but as you clearly highlighted, there are some people who have, and multiple people actually, it's not even just one person, multiple people, males and females, males too, who have also gone on her show and have been disrespected, exploited, violated by her. And again, it just makes me think, what is your purpose here? Are you an agent of some sort? Like, who do you work for? What is your true agenda behind these podcasts? Are you just like some sort of spin-off of Jerry Springer where you bring people to share their life stories and take the mick out of them? Like, what are you trying to do here?
I see it's trying to... Right, so there's already a division between men and women. And she's dividing even more.
Yeah.
You know, by putting these women down, you're dividing even more. You're making men have this attitude towards them, you know, and looking at them in different ways because of the things she's highlighting, because of the things she's talking about, because of the way she's making women look. Like, women have got it hard enough. We don't need you to come out here and abuse
and take the mick, yeah,
and
mock,
monetize of these people's misery, like these people's life.
Absolutely.
You know, and the thing is, like, you have to be very careful because you've never been married before. You've never had a kid. You may end up in that situation yourself just because of all the talk.
Well, can we actually pull up what her ex-partner said on his Facebook? Again, we're not here saying that what he's saying is true, but at the same time, this is her ex-partner. And the reason why we're highlighting this is, again, sometimes we give too much value to what people say and those people are scumbags. So some women sit there and think Pearl is some sort of guru that we should follow. Why should we follow somebody who doesn't even live to their own principles? And the reason why me and T are able to say this, because we're sinners. Don't get it twisted, we're not coming here perfect. But the thing is, I don't sit here and belittle people when I know that my hands are dirty. Exactly. The thing is, she belittles people thinking that she's clean when you're not. And I think people deserve to have a fair view of this person because they're not this, you know, shining, clean person that they paint themselves out to be. They themselves have a history, and some of the history is actually contradictory to what they're trying to promote, which I think people should be aware of.
Exactly. So he basically said she effed on
What's his name?
Onea Johnson.
Onea Johnson.
Yeah. He said she effed on Goofies, said that she wished she could take it back, and then crying, laughing emojis, and then he called her a trifling hoe.
Oh.
And then somebody commented and he said, F that bitch, got no respect for her. So yeah, and then he posted up a video, I think a TikTok one of him and his new girlfriend, just buzzing on her.
Oh. So, this is your ex. Your ex obviously is not happy with you. Your ex is obviously making certain statements. Let us know. You know, you want to know about everybody else. Let us find out about you. You know, why does your ex claim that you cheated on him? You know, are you not about traditional values?
How many bodies you got?
You know, if she did cheat on him, that's 2 so far.
Yeah, that's two, that's two so far.
That's 2 so far. I don't know if that's a lot or, you know, but that's 2 so far. So, you know, are you, you know, let's be realistic, because, you know, when you want to embarrass people and try, you know, humiliate them, there's always going to be somebody that's going to be able to do that to you. People can find out anything, you know. So your ex has claimed that you cheated on him. Now the onus is on you to clarify that.
There's also been other accusations, to be honest. Apparently, she's seeing, I'm not going to mention no names, but one of the members of the panel.
Oh?
Yep. So that's just allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly,
but that's like, that is swirling around within her people. So yeah. But what I did want to mention, actually, which I think is the biggest, like, she's like really a hypocrite. And I'll tell you why, because she's out here speaking out against feminism. Yet her mother, Jennifer Davis, okay, is actually working for, she's actually a feminist, and she works on a board of directors for the UN for feminism. So for me, that's a bit of a contradiction, because your mum is like one of the biggest feminists there is, who's working for one of the biggest organizations that there is. She's a treasurer for the UN for women.
But I can give you the flip side of that. That might have made her not like feminism then. That could have turned her against feminism, that her mum's a feminist. So there is a flip side to that. Like say your dad's a racist, you could be like, I like black people now.
But then shouldn't you start with your own family before trying to start with random people?
Maybe that's what she started it for. Maybe that's her objective. Now we've given her a motive of why it could be. Does that make sense? On the fair side of it, my mum could be a feminist to the point where I hate feminism.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I can get that one. But as for beating someone on the thing, bro, I'll be honest with you. If nobody's crabbing it out, then I'm surprised. And the reason why I say that is because she claims this submissive woman and being this and being that and traditional, whatever. So she must be submitting to someone, especially if she's around all these alpha males. I mean, why do I call them females? That's because one of the guys on there, he's a proper punk. What's his name? Sarah? I haven't called him Sarah. His name's Steven something, bro. Yeah, that guy, he's a weirdo. Tried to post me once. Yeah, we're in it until I catch you, bro, because he was talking bad about the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Man ain't forgot. Man has not forgot. Man ain't forgot you, Sarah. Not Sarah. Steven. First man to kiss another man on national TV. Black man.
Oh.
Yeah, let down the man them and was twerking in your comedy shows. Man knows you, bro. You was twerking, blood. You was twerking, not tweaking, twerking. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. But yeah, that was her like top fire guy that she always goes to. So I knew she didn't know that guy was twerking. But yeah, he's been tweaking, and like man them wanting to get him down as well. It's all mad. But anyway, I generally believe that her podcast doesn't actually make sense for her as a woman. Now, I'm going to sound very subjective what I'm about to say, because I stand up for men, but I expect women to stand up for women, standardly, because you're women. You feel what women go through. I can't feel what you go through. So imagine I done a podcast and it's all about bashing men to shreds.
You would be classed as the biggest simp.
And I bring other women on to cuss men and bring men on to say their sad stories just to cuss them.
Wow. It don't look right.
Deep, you know.
Think about it. Deep what I'm saying to you.
No, what you're saying is facts.
Wouldn't one day you say, you know what? No, I think you're wrong, man. Women do actually have it kind of rough. Like, I'm a woman. I've been through it.
Yeah, and you know what I really don't like, is when she calls children baggage. I really don't like that.
Everybody's saying on these podcasts is subjective. It's based on their own opinions or based on what even sounds nice. Yeah. But when it comes to actually applying this in real life, that all goes out the window. So that's why for me, these conversations can never make me feel any type of way, because I'm so secure in who I am, single mother or not. Right? Whatever you say that is wrong, and if I have that, then it still doesn't affect me because I know myself. Do you know what I mean? But
Question for you lot. Do you think that Pearl only brings people on like the people that co-host with her, that people that agree with her?
Yes, 100%.
yeah, of course.
Has she ever had someone on there that's been challenging her and she's been able to?
What, from her own staff?
She had not her staff, but she had that girl called Sadia. If you remember, I think she's Asian or something. Sadia really put in her place, and you know what it is. Just Pearly things, you can tell she was getting heated and her face started to turn red, and she couldn't deal with it that the girl was showing her up. But the way Sadia showed her up, Sadia didn't do what some of the other guests do by shouting, you know, getting all emotional. Sadia dealt with her intellectually. It was an intellectual cooking, and that really hurt her because, like, the thing is, this is how you know Just Pearly things is a coward. She will bring people that she knows are intellectually not on the same wavelength as her, so she's always going to come out looking better, because it's like putting a lion and a sheep in a cage. The lion's always going to overpower the sheep, but if you put a lion and another lion, then that's when we'll see who's really the king of the jungle, right? So with her, she specifically does this, but Sadia actually matched her and actually overpowered her intellectually, and that burnt her. If you saw her facial reaction, she couldn't handle it. She could not handle it, you know? So that for me is you're a coward. You're a coward because you know that outside of your little echo chamber, a lot of your arguments can be destroyed. But this is why she brings people that she knows that are just
100%.
she could take the mick out of.
And also, to be honest with you, I think like to do what she wants to do, right? That position of what she's, you need to be a woman who's already married. You're married, and has had a child. So you have experience. You're a married woman. You have children. You know, you have like a foundation of experience that you can talk on. But when you've got no experience, you don't relate to it in any way, shape, or form. Like, you're not married, so you're obviously out here. Like, you're doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? So you can't class yourself, like you cannot class yourself above all these other females.
No,
you cannot.
But you know, again, like you say, what does she know about being a wife?
Nothing.
Being somebody that has to dedicate, because you know, people sit here and they love to talk about this submissiveness. It sounds nice, of course, it's appealing to the ears, submissiveness, but when it comes to implementing that submissiveness, a lot of these girls are going to fold. I'm telling you, because submissiveness, especially in this era, is not something just as simple as saying it. Like, are you really willing to listen to what your man has to say? Are you really willing to follow the rules? Are you really willing to cater to his every needs 24/7 whenever he needs? Of issues and sort of problems that can arise out of these issues, and that's the thing. This is why she's not doing any due diligence to these conversations. She's saying nice things, she's saying things that she knows that will appeal the male attention, but when it comes to practicality, she's not breaking down how the ins and outs of this thing.
Do you think she's part of the problem?
Yes, she is part of the problem.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, look, let's break it down, right? She's constantly talking about the problem. Modern women, modern feminists, hoes, this, that, right? But how did these modern women, right, these hoes, right, how did they become that?
But that's not, I don't think she's here to trying to get into that. It's just the fact that it's wrong in general. So I can see from that angle where you can't really get it. But look,
No,
I'll give you.
Wait. Listen, look. If you're a girl, and in this country, in the UK, yeah, and you go to school, you're taught sex education from a very young age. Especially people who have no deen, okay? They get taught to have boyfriends. They get given condoms at school. They are watching sex everywhere on TV, TikTok, Facebook. These children are being pushed by an agenda. They're being brainwashed. To them, this is all normal.
But sister, it's actually more deeper than that. The reason why women are behaving the way that they're behaving is because of capitalism. The economic framework that we live in is based on consumerism. And especially when we transitioned into the industrial era where we have all these modern infrastructure, that means more people within the workforce, okay? So, and then many people bypass this argument, but it's a very important argument, because back in the day when things were more traditional, where people weren't as materialistic, people didn't have the desire to buy, consume. They lived very simple lives because the environment that they lived in was very simple. Now we've transitioned into this modern era, right, with all this materialistic stuff that's being put in front of our faces. This is what's caused, because I believe that women have become products of their environment.
Exactly.
Right? And the environment that we're living in is a very consumerist, sadistic, capitalistic society where men are no longer builders. Men are no longer in positions of power or authority in terms of leading their town or being the leader of their community, right? So women have now, the man has been replaced by the state or by the government. So there's no need for a man anymore. So this is what's happened. Women have become products of their society. If we analyze the society, it is a capitalistic, consumerist society. And then, based on what you said, these are symptoms of our society. Teaching the kids sex education, pushing out porn, the porn content, pushing out women being sexualized in music videos. This is all the symptoms. But the real disease is the capitalism. That's what the real problem is.
But but back to, I understand the point that you're making, and it's a very good point. Follow the money and you follow where the problems come from. If you really want to go deeper, feminism was designed by Rockefeller because they wanted more money, and he's found out that women weren't paying taxes, and they wanted to wait for women to pay taxes because paying taxes pays into a system of criminality that is getting done. But anyway, that's a whole other topic for another day. Freemason, blah blah. What I'm trying to say is, with Pearly, I generally like, all right, look at the topic that she's talking about now, yeah? I'm just on my system now. You probably screenshot this or whatever. Do modern women lose after breakups? Now, let me just be honest with you, and I'm just going to say this as honest as possible. I don't feel sorry for any woman that goes on that show that gets roasted. Because the topics that she's talking about, if you didn't know she's bashing men, you're going to come on there, try and ting, and get smoked. So you're more fool to you for going on a show, not knowing what you... It's like when people come into my room or my lives, and then they start chatting shit. I'm like, brother, you do not know where you are right now. You're in Rare Talks, this building, bro. This is a whole different playing field. So I understand that if you go on here and you get slayed, you deserve it to a certain extent, because you should be knowing where you're putting yourself. I'm not going to put myself in a room full of Islamophobes knowing that I'm going to just jump up and want to rock everybody. Does it make sense? I'm not going to put myself in that situation when knowing that it's going to be detrimental to me and towards everyone else. So I'm just saying, any woman that does go on a show and gets roasted, you can't feel sorry for her. She done it to herself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying, but I've actually listened to some of our content, right? And if you're acting dumb, you're saying dumb stuff, hold that L, hold that smoke. But I've actually seen situations where some of the sisters are not even saying anything wrong, and there's like for instance, the other day they're having a conversation, right? And you had these two mothers, right? There's one mother who claims that she doesn't work and she spends all day, every day.
Watching her hard, no?
No, I was just watching one video, right? Because I just saw it and thought, let me see what's going on here, yeah? So they had this one girl from Birmingham, and she was saying that she's a stay-at-home mum. She homeschool her children or her daughter. She just wants to be around her daughter every single day, right? And then there was another woman, and she was a black sister, and she was saying, I work twice a week. Twice a week. She has her own little business. She works twice a week just to support her child, and she sends her child to school. They started judging her and saying to her, oh, how could you send your child to school? That means you're not raising your child. Like, my argument is this, yeah, of course the mother should be a key part in the child's education, but the child's got to go out there. He's got a mix of other kids. He's got to learn. There's certain things that I can't teach my child at home. He has to learn through life. So for you to sit here and say, oh, you're not raising your child because you send your child to school and you work twice a week, I just think that's a very unrealistic argument. I think you're just trying to make an argument out of an argument. Like, if the woman says, you know, I work all the time and I send a babysitter to look after, yeah, we've got an argument there, because you're definitely not raising your child. But if you're sending your child to get an education, because there's certain things that they have to learn outside, in the outside world, social skills, being around other children and stuff like that. 100%. Like, to be honest, the school education now system is not good, but I'm just saying, generally speaking, if in a normal school, you should send your children to school to get an education, to mix around other children, to have social skills, and she's working twice a week. I don't see a problem with that. And she created her own business, and the business that she created was actually named after her daughter. So it was a business inspired by her daughter, for her daughter. Why are you judging the girl for? It's little things like that where there is no middle ground. It's either you're right or you're wrong according to her criteria, which is clearly biased. So it just seems like they're just bringing people on there, and even when there isn't an argument, they'll make it into an argument. Like, if that sister said,
but that might be just for entertainment purposes.
Exactly, though. So what's the purpose?
But if people are, I'm saying to you, if people are willingly going on the show, not getting forced, not getting coerced, they're willingly going on the show.
This is where the tea
they're
comes
putting
in.
themselves in a situation where they're getting humiliated. Like I say, I don't put myself in certain situations because I don't like humiliation. I don't like how it feels. It makes me do things that are ungodly, like make me do things that are haram. Make me do things that shaitan would be clapping for. So I don't go to certain places knowing that, okay, this is gonna make me move and act like this. So if you willingly go on her show and then you get slayed, you can't be mad after.
Well,
She's
this
using
is
you
where
for
T
content
needs to
because
highlight something.
Content is content.
No, you have a point, because obviously I went on there and my situation was a bit mad, but I didn't, when I came out of there, I wasn't mad. Like,
Yeah, but
you know what I'm
T,
saying? I wasn't.
there's something that's been
knew-
come out though about
I
people
knew.
being set up to go on there though. This is
Yes,
where we need to
yes,
correct that.
Yes, people have been getting set up, but just to clear me up though, I knew that there could be a possibility, but I thought to myself, hopefully not, because I kind of think quite a lot like how they do, but I just wanted to raise the point to her, but which I didn't get to do, was just basically I agree with what you say. The only thing the only critique I have is that you don't also hold men accountable. That's all I went there for. That's all I wanted to say.
But if
to
she's
her.
trying to be a pick me, she can't hold men accountable, because then that's the majority of her fan base.
Okay,
The
but-
majority of her fan base is incels, men that, if I'm honest, can't get gal and they've been broken hearted and they're just on that podcast because it seems like it resonates with them. Like, for instance, look at the pocket. Look at the topic. Do modern women lose after breakups? Bro, that's something that I will talk about. Because I'm a man. I can talk about it as a man. Can't have 4 women on a panel talking about do men. What the flip? What do you know about? Bro, it doesn't. And this is what I'm trying to say. Like, I understand that it's clout, it's entertainment, it's all this. But at the end of the day, can she honestly look at herself in the mirror and say, I feel like a good woman after doing what I'm doing? Because me as a man, I can, because I'm a man. Do you get what do you lot understand the point, what I keep trying to reiterate to you lot?
Yeah.
As a man, I can say it because all my experiences on women. So if I have negative images of women, it's because I've been through experiences. She's only had experiences with men. So shouldn't she be saying, do modern day men lose after breakups?
Exactly.
Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
But
Why
I
is
think
it,
we
do
need
modern
to-
day women lose after break? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Of course,
Because-
she's a sellout to
because
her
all
own
of the- All
gender.
of the people on the panel at the moment, right now, as I'm looking, are women.
Yeah.
So where?
But the thing is, like you say, yeah, she will lose most of her audience. Because I remember when I first started off on TikTok, yeah, I was on this anti-feminism rampage, yeah. I was dissing feminists. I was talking about the same thing similarly where
And you
women...
got a big following because it's
No, I didn't get a big following. I got a lot of support. But then when I started sort of holding men accountable, those same people turned against me. And do you know what they would do? They would say to me, I've lost all respect for you now. Oh, Zubaydah's a feminist now. Huh? And that's when I realized that I was put in a position where, do I chase the clout but go against my morals and my principles, or do I stick to my morals and my principles? And I stuck to my morals and my principles, because I could have ran with this, women should be submissive, I hate feminism, because I was getting a lot of support. But then I realized that this is all fake. Like, I'm not like, yes, I will speak about these things, but I have to be fair and I have to be balanced. And when I started being fair and being balanced, talking about men and their bad behavior, people started to turn against me. And I thought, yeah, you know what, I don't even need you lot. But she hasn't done that. She loves the clout, she loves the support.
The thing is, look, everybody has their time. This is her time. But the problem is what she has is not solid. It's not stable. So people are going to get sick of it. They're going to get sick of it at some point. Like, how far are you going to run with this? Like, how far do you think you're going to go with this?
Absolutely. And I think going back to what Ray was saying and asking
do you think Pearl's a misogynist?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you think that she, like, because it's very, you know what, I find it very difficult to actually accept in my heart and my mind that a woman can be a misogynist.
The only reason why I say she's a misogynist is because she does not hold men accountable in any way, shape, or form.
Are you sure though?
If she, 100%.
I didn't really watch. If I'm honest, I haven't watched her
I've
content.
never
to know.
heard her say something negative about a man.
No.
Never heard her. Say
But
something.
Esther said a very good point. She goes, even to be fair to Kevin Samuels, as much as he would talk about the girls, I've seen Kevin Samuels rip men.
For the first
Rip them.
3 years, for the first 3 years of his career, he was just talking about men and how men should fix up and
You see?
don't be a simp and this
There's
is
a
what to do if you
balance.
want to get women and blah blah. And then he moved on to the women, and that's when his height of his fame became, and then he was assassinated in the room with a woman. Yeah.
You know what I think could have
Assassinate.
possibly happened to her? I think, okay, like, and I'm just being real. I'm not taking shots and stuff. Well, I am being real, yeah. Firstly, she's not attractive, as we've already said. She's not attractive. She was definitely not the popular
Beauty
girl.
is in the eye of the
you
beholder.
say she's not attractive, but bruv, in a man's eyes, bro,
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
man will smoke a donkey if it looks appealing.
but we're not talking about a man will go with a hole. We're talking about a marriage material, like wifey or something like.
She's not the stereotype
But
of
she
beauty.
sounds. But this is where I have to say.
No, but
this
wait,
is-
I'm talking about when she was young. I'm talking about at school.
Okay.
I'm not talking about as an adult. I'm talking about at school. She was not attractive. She was not a popular girl. But maybe she was even bullied by popular girls, or she wanted to be a popular girl, and that's how where her hatred grew for women. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. But something is not right. Something is not right because the hate that she has for women is
Yeah, that
deep-rooted.
makes sense.
But you lot think it's hate, yeah, but I look at it as marketing. And what I mean by that is that she's put herself in a very good position with men and with women to a certain extent, because women want to challenge her and come on the show to constantly challenge her, because women like to challenge other women when they think they're wrong. As for men are rooting for her because she's saying everything that we like. So she's in a good position marketing wise. So I don't think that she's a misogynist, if I'm being honest. I think that she's found the avenue and it's working for her and she keeps going down it. That's what I generally think. I don't even think she believes half of the things that she says. But she
Right.
just says it because, like, me as a man, I believe some things I say because I've gone through certain experiences. So for me to say it to you lot, it's not me just saying it. Man's felt it. So when I'm saying this to you lot, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. But she can't say that unless she's dating women, because then that changes the whole motive. Then it's not modern day women, it's modern day LGBTQ.
The thing is, look, do you know what? I'm just gonna be like completely honest, yeah. Like my stance is this, like even like not just even though Pearl as well, but even other people like Fit and Fresh, all of these people who are coming out speaking of the red pill, the blue pill, this is no good. This is not good. Like I saw a podcast of that Fresh and Fit, and there was a girl on there. She was a very, very pretty girl. I think she's a single mother. They made the girl cry. Like the girl was crying.
But again, I have to say this to the bottom of my heart to everyone out there. So you're watching this, you can't feel sorry for people that put their hands in the lion's mouth and get bitten.
Look,
you know,
I
if you're
that.
going on a podcast,
hear
especially podcasts like that, for me, instance, I see
that.
women on the podcast every week, like 10, 5 women. I'm like, these women, they know they're going to get roasted, right? Because
Okay,
these
but
guys are going to jump on their
Alright,
necks.
Let me ask you a question. If you were sitting on that table with them and this girl started crying, they all started mocking her and laughing at her, would you have laughed?
It's not, me personally, I don't like to see people suffering. It's just like in me. But what I will do is I'll be thinking in my head, why did you come here if you want to cry? So there'll be two sides to it. I'll be like, you're moving mad, stop crying and man up, or get out of the studio or whatever. I don't know what I'd say at that moment, but I wouldn't want to, if I'm being honest, because you've put yourself here. This is what I'm trying to say. I would always teach my children and all my friends and family that if you put yourself in an environment where you can be disrespected, then you deserve to be disrespected.
All right, cool. Let me put it this way.
So if you go to a man's house and the man said, don't come to my house, and you go to the house and the man's beating another girl, you can't call me off and say,
Wait.
Dad, he's violating me, he's cheating on me.
All right, let me put it this
But
way.
you already told you it's over.
Let me put it this way. Those who are the best, yeah, are those who, when they have an enemy, and they've got their enemy right where they want them, and they can do whatever they want to that enemy, yeah. They can either choose to kill that person or whatever it is they want to do, or they can choose to have mercy on that person. Now, the best of those are those who would have mercy, choose mercy over that person.
Facts.
So, although you stepped in the lion's den, and although you put yourself in that situation as a human to another human, if I see you crying and you're hurt, like if that was my podcast and everyone started laughing, I would switch on all of them. Like, this is a human being that's sitting, before anything, she's a soul. God created her. That's God's creation. God made her.
But not everyone has those morals.
You know, this is where I don't care about everyone. This is where I'm coming from. Right? So if God created that person and blew a part of his soul into that person, right? And that person's crying, that person's in pain, they're crying, and then millions of people are going to watch this, and you're laughing at that person. That is disgusting. Disgusting.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't- you
of
don't
course
laugh
it's wrong.
at other people, whether she's a hoe, whether she could be whatever she is. You don't know that person's story. You don't know how that person got there. That person could have been sexually abused from as a 2-year-old. That person could have had a cocaine addict, drug parents. You don't know what got that person to where they are. Do not judge people. That's not right.
No, I totally agree with you. On the basis that we're humans. First of all, we're Muslims, so we shouldn't even be laughing at people like that. But I'm so like, I feel like wherever you're willing to die for clout is where your honor is for clout. Does that make sense? For instance, I give you an example. Yeah, like if I saw Modine getting beaten up, yeah, I just keep it real. I would laugh. Just on the basis that you kind of put yourself in all these weird situations. Does it make sense? Some people that put themselves in stupid situations, I feel like, have you ever heard that saying, like, do stupid things and get stupid results or something? I can't remember what it says, but play with certain people and you will get, you know, when they play with fire, you get burnt. If you're going on a podcast where the men are week in and week out harsh to women, to say the least, because Fresh and Fit is a little bit different. See, people want to fight them, people stepping on their foot. They're doing a lot of violations on their podcast. Still big up to them though, because they're successful, but no bigging up for how they're violating certain people. But I just feel like we should all know that not every place, and maybe we weren't educated by our parents, but I learned that, you know, never leave the house with a weapon if you ain't ready to use it. But I'm going to take that and put that in this context. Never go somewhere that you're not sure of how you're going to be treated. Only put yourself in situations where you feel like you're going to be respected and valued. Because if I put myself in that situation and they violate me, I can cry now, but can you feel sorry for me? Because as a human, I feel sorry for you. But if you go to another place, what have you learned from that? Does it make sense? Like, are you going to keep going around looking for clout? Because it's clout that's the drug that is killing people. So if I'm constantly going to places for clout and then eventually someone catches me and beats the crap out of me, I've got to take that L because I was going out there looking for something and I found the wrong thing.
No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with what you're saying, but all I'm saying is, yeah, people need to...
No, but you see, the reason why you felt like that is because you're a woman, and this is why I said Pearly things, for me, she baffles me. I wouldn't be surprised if she whipped out her penis, brother. I'll be honest with you. If she whipped out her tings, I'd be like, raw, I always kind of thought you had tings, because you've been moving like one of the man them. A little too much. Because you see that empathy that you have right there, that empathy, that's ingrained in you as a woman. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, that's ingrained in you. I don't have that same sort of empathy because I'm a man. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Not to say I don't have empathy, but not the same as you. That's why women are better mothers and nurturers than the father is.
Yeah, I'm an empath.
Yeah. Children that grow up in their mother's care, their mother has so much love for them, and no human being can ever take back the love that a mother gives to her child. It's like, it's the ultimate sign of sacrifice. But a man, bruv, he'll probably throw his child in the water and be like, yo, you better swim. Like, we're kind of like lions, you know what I'm saying? But as for women, they've got that soft nature which gives the child a balance in their life. So dad's kind of harsh sometimes and mum's kind of balanced. Or dad's soft and mum's hard. Like, it's either one or the other.
She
Sometimes
lacks
mum's
feminine
really rough.
energy. She exhibits masculine energy.
I totally agree with you, brother, yeah? And I'll tell you why. Because, to be honest with you, I shouldn't have gone there. And I'll tell you why. Because I know myself. I know my temper. I know I don't tolerate disrespect on any level. And I knew how I would have reacted if something like that happened. And before it got to that, I really seriously considered getting up and walking out. When the rest of them was going, I was thinking, this is ridiculous. Like, when Auntie and that were first going at it, I was going to get up and walk out. So, for me, I should have known that I was too real. I'm too real for them kind of shows. Yeah, when you're a real person and you don't change for nothing and you don't tolerate disrespect, you can't be going on to shows like that, because these people, they don't recognize real because they're not real. And also, cameras are there, so it's not even like you can't do anything.
Facts.
You can't do nothing, because if that was, like, obviously I'm a lady,
Bagged.
I'm a woman, and I don't like to speak like this, but at the same time I got to keep it real. If that was on the streets, yeah, it would have been a completely
100.
different.
Furthermore,
They wouldn't have even been speaking like that. This is what I'm trying to say. So they're doing it for the cameras, they're doing it for the clout, because on road you lot ain't like this.
No, but that's why I said to you, I don't think she's a misogynist. I feel like she's acting for views.
Okay.
And it's working. Like, we can't deny that it's working.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, I like to give everyone a fair dues. I feel like what she's doing, she's found a little strategy and it's working. It's like everyone has something that they're good at. She's found a little avenue and then found a few black people to coerce, and it looks very slave woman, slave master. It's kind of funny because I don't know if that Sarah guy is on Black Empowerment guy, but he's just under her wing. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Shots fired. Yeah, I did. She really does give me the thing, like she likes the control of the thing, but a white woman controlling a narrative of lots of black people or people from different ethnicities really doesn't really work too well for me. It doesn't swing too, and I want to know why nobody has seen it as I've seen it. Maybe because what she's talking about, we all think that it's a common enemy so that we're not upset about it. But for me personally, I don't see there being any empathy. I don't see any benefit in what she's actually doing, if I'm being honest with you. I feel like it's got to a point now where what more can you talk about? You're not a man, so start talking about what happens with your vagina, please. As harsh as that might sound. Can you tell me what women go through, please? Because as a man, I want to see you talk about women, just to see if you can do it.
You know what's so ironic as well is the way she's, like you said earlier, she's actually sitting there talking about women, and the way she's talking about them as that's a masculine. The way she's doing it is like a man, like it's very masculine. Which contradicts everything she's basically standing for.
But the fact is, yeah, I haven't seen any. Like I said, I'd love to see her come on someone else's podcast and get challenged, like Manim's podcast, like from the ends, like you know, like Winners Talking. Like, I don't know any podcast that the Manim's on. Go to their podcast and sit down in their hot chair. I'd love to see her do that. That would make me know what she's on, because man would ask her like real questions, like where you from? What do you do? How you make dough? Heard your pops is this. Heard your mum is this. Is that true? Like, because then we'd get a kind of a feel of it. Right now, it's just her on topics that men will agree on. That's all it is. That's why her fan base is growing so fast, because men's going to agree on it. You know what I'm saying? Which, like I said, I don't see the benefit, long-term benefit in what she's doing as a woman. I
just see the harm. That's all I can see.
No, but you see, that's what I'm trying to say. From a woman's perspective, you can see that. As a man, if this is like a man doing it, I'll be like, yo, my G, like, as bad as some things might sound, I'll be like, I can understand it. As a man, you've gone through certain things. You can express yourself like that. But as a woman, I'm going to keep saying it. How can a woman just be grilling women all day like she don't feel the women's struggles?
Yep.
It's like me cussing women about having a period. Like, yeah.
Do you know what? I'll tell you why. Because you see, before a woman gets married and has a child, she's not who she's got. So a woman before marriage and a child is not the same woman after marriage and a child.
Explain to me.
You have to go through marriage, pregnancy, child labor, and having a child to understand what a real woman is. Because it's not until you go through it that you can relate. She hasn't got a clue.
But why do you think that is?
Because look, before I got married, I always thought, yeah, you know, the fairy tale, I'm going to get married, I'm going to fall in love, the big white dress, happily ever after. But it's not like that at all. Getting married is easy. Keeping your marriage is what's hard. Going through pregnancy is what's hard. You go through emotions, your hormones are everywhere, you know, giving birth, you know, you put on weight, you feel different. Then you've got a baby. Some women go through postnatal depression. You know, some men cheat on their wives while their wives are pregnant, or when their wives have just given birth. You know, some women, you know, like, that's why Islamically, when a woman's married, you're not allowed to divorce her until I think it's 3 months after she's given birth. Because when a woman's pregnant, her hormones are everywhere. So you have to take her behavior lightly, because, like I said, her hormones are everywhere. She's everywhere. Like, this is very well known, you know? And then once you've had that child, you become somebody different now. The love you have for that child, that child becomes your everything, to the point where even the man starts feeling jealous and feeling like the child's come and taken his place.
His wife, yeah.
You know, like, some women start putting on weight. They don't feel good about themselves. They go through depression. You know, it's difficult. Some women that give birth and their children are diagnosed with disabilities. Like, for example, I have a daughter who's autistic. Getting her diagnosis was very hard. Alhamdulillah, she's only very mild, and she's become, you know, she's become very, like, much better. Alhamdulillah, you know. But these are life experiences that can change you. You know, they can change you. Life is hard, especially for women. These women are raising children, little angels, innocent people. You know how hard it is to raise a child? You got to clothe them, feed them, take them to school, pick them up. Like, they your life. You know, and you're the one that's protecting them. That mother is the one that's protecting that child. That mother is the one that puts that child to sleep every night, wakes them up every morning, gives them breakfast, sends them to school to get an education, will give their life for that child.
Do you think that just Pearly things is trying to intercept the red pill, like men's movement? She's trying to capitalize off what
100%.
men's struggles and men's pain. Because now this comes down to a marketing tool. It reminds me similar to what the Rockefellers done back in the day when they actually created feminism. What they did is they wanted a way to make money. So they said, how do we make more money? Now there's a movement called suffragettes. They're claiming they're not getting equal pay. But women weren't paying tax at this time because women wasn't even given proper salaries. So how are you going to tax someone for salaries that they don't get? So let's create something. You know what? If we got more women to work, because you have to understand, yeah, see, as much as I might speak about certain topics, I actually understand it a little bit deeper. I understand that the government plays the biggest role in the destruction of the family unit. No one plays a bigger role in that. 100%. Because once I could start being father to the children, the woman doesn't need a man. When a man's removed from society, any man that's out there by himself, just like I think the Prophet said, a man by himself is like a lone wolf. He's easy for prey to catch him. He's easy to get caught by all the snares of the dunya. So if I have a man out there that's constantly all by himself and I have a woman that's all by herself, consumers, we're going to do more consumerism. So like I said to Zubaydah earlier, it's all about following the money. This whole thing is about us being disunited to the point where women are going to say they don't need men. Men are going to be like, F women. So they're going to still be with women, but just not love them, not commit to them, not take care of them. Yeah, 50-50 on a date. Yeah, I'm not paying for nothing. Like,
that's crazy.
And then this is going to breed a new generation of young men that grows up thinking F women.
Right. So this is what's happening now.
And Tupac said it years ago, we have a race of babies that hate the ladies that make the babies. Exactly. And since a man can't create one, he has no right on...
And then what's going to happen? Because the men are doing that, the women are going to feel the same about the men. And then...
So then we're in a dangerous cycle of hatred and no unity. And what happens eventually is it starts off with it just being, I don't know, let's just say for argument's sake, black people, but it's sprung off into all communities to the point where we're all finished as a community because we have these feminist ideologies that don't exist. And then we got these red pill loser guys that talk about women all day, incels, don't have anything better to do with their lives, don't even get gal, because it's just like, man don't want gal anymore, or get weak gal like them because gal will just say, yeah, I like him. He seems like a loser, so I like him. So it's either that or this. So, but then you got people like Just Pearly, things that, if I'm honest, is a woman, a white woman at that, that's having a lot of black people or people from ethnic backgrounds on her show trying to, if I'm honest, like tell people what they can and can't say or what they can and can't do and what is right and what is wrong. That's where she's going to go wrong in the long run. But
because look, at the end of the day, right, if you're going to treat people that way, because every time that when I went there, all she kept going on about was we need recruiters, we need recruiters, we need people to come to the show. They're desperate. They're desperate for people to come on their show. So it's not like they've got a queue of people lining up to come on the show. They're actually desperate for people to come on the show. So what's going to happen is people are going to start realizing which they're already starting to do. No woman is going to want to go on that show because even if she...
Now, women will still go on the show because clout is a dangerous drug. They're going to still go on. I'm telling you. There's idiot gal that will still go on there.
You know, people like that, like you said, they deserve what they get, because at the end of the day, if she's already been exposed and we are already aware of what she's doing and people still want to go on there, then that you're going on there for clout. Because if you're an educated, intelligent being who's gonna go on there and oppose her, you're just gonna get shut down. She's gonna make you quiet. She's not gonna give you that platform. She's not going to let you come into her house and tell her about herself on her podcast.
But then that means that it's just her podcast is not a podcast, it's an echo chamber. It's just everyone agreeing with one thing.
That's exactly what it is.
Unless having someone that disagrees and then challenging that person and trying to make the dialogue on that.
And that's why it's not going to last long, because when she's only done it. She started doing it a year ago. A year is nothing. That's that time
it's only
flies.
so much she can go with.
Right. So now
unless women keep doing bad. Imagine all women fix up, and then what happens then? If all women do exactly what she says, what would she be talking about?
That's the thing. She will have nothing to talk about. She has nothing to talk about. And like you see, she just keeps the same information, the same stats, the same quotes, it's the same narrative. Nothing changes. Just putting women down, putting women down, putting women down. That's all you're doing. That's not helping society. You know?
She might be thinking it is, though.
But it would help society if you did that, but you spoke to them with grace and you genuinely trying to help them, or genuinely trying to say to them, look, can you not see the point that we are making? You know? Mm-hmm. If you do it in that way, I take my hat off to you. All due respect. But you're constantly putting women down, and the way you're doing it is not in a gracious way. It's with ill intentions.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%. I have no doubt in my mind, 100%. Because obviously, like, I've been there. I've met her. I felt the energy in there. I saw the agenda. Like, 100%, 100%. She's not a good she's not a good person. Like, since that show, and since I've spoken out about her, I've had like a lot of messages from a lot of females, and they've all said to me, I went onto that show, she done the exact same thing to me, but I was too scared to say anything because I didn't want to get embarrassed. Or apparently she's powerful, she's got a lot of followers and a lot of money, so like at least 7 or 8 women have messaged me that, and they've all said to me, thank you so much for going on there and doing what you did, like, we respect you so much. So I'm gonna speak for all of those women who are scared of her. I'm not scared of her. I don't care about her power. I don't care about her money. I don't care about nothing. At the end of the day, if I'm speaking truth, then I'm standing on it. And it's as simple as that. So I will be the voice for those women who are too scared to speak. I will stand up and speak.
But do you think that like your situation with her, would you sit down again with her?
No.
Why not?
Because I would rather not sit with people like that. People who, like I said, are capitalizing of people's misery and people's life. I do not want to sit with people like that. That's not the kind of person I am. I wouldn't do that. So I cannot respect what she does. Therefore, I don't want anything to do. I am free from that. Honestly, I swear to you, even if she paid me, I would not go back on her show. No way.
Why not?
Because of the disrespect. That's why. And the thing is, she hasn't stopped. She's still going on. She's still doing it. She done a live yesterday again about me.
Again about you?
She
Saying
done a
what?
live
Saying
again.
what did she say?
Saying, oh yeah, they went and they done a podcast, and they were sitting down. Oh, they love me. They love me. They were sitting there for 3 hours talking about me. It was only 1 hour and a half, and it's a podcast. Her podcast can go on up to 5 hours, 4 hours. Certain podcasts, so it's a normal thing. Why would that mean that we love you? We don't love you. I'm just getting my story out there. I'm just saying my reaction, because you've obviously put me out there. I've gone viral, you know. It's only right for me to speak up and say... You
have a right to defend yourself.
I have a right to defend myself.
Everyone has a right to defend themselves.
So how does that mean I love you, or that I can't stop talking about you? It's ridiculous. Like, obviously I've come on your show. You did what you done. I'm going to do a reaction to that. Like, I'm going to speak up.
Did she know that you have a big platform?
Well, she saw my Instagram. I don't know if she's checked out my YouTube video. I'm not too sure, but she must do. She must because she knows I rap, because we spoke about it. Cause
I'll be honest with you, ain't nobody ain't thinking nothing of you, bro. Like, look at my face expression. Like,
Yeah, that's why I'm good, brother. Wallahi, I'm good. You see, when you got a good heart, yeah, and you speak truth, you don't have to worry about anything.
Facts.
God is great. You don't have to worry about anything. And that might have happened for a reason. Maybe it's her time. Maybe it's time for her to come across somebody like me who's going to speak up. Maybe other people are going to start speaking up, which they have. People have been sending me evidence, proofs, showing me things that's going on, that they're taking her to court. Police are involved. There's also other things that I'm not going to mention, you know, but there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on with her. You know, so maybe it's a good thing. And if I can help to make these women feel better, yeah, because they're all coming to me, giving me info, telling me, here, take this, do your thing, because they want me to come out here and speak for them because they felt violated. So I will come out and speak for them. I have no problem. I have no fear.
Straight.
Like, I'm talking realness.
But yeah, man. Yeah, to do with like what she's on and what she's been doing, I just feel like it's a cheap way of trying to like monetize off people's pains. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like she does. And then she just puts out clickbait videos. Look, she's doing a good job of what she's trying to achieve. She's achieving it. But to all the people that are involved in it, like to the bitter men that are involved in it, like the ones that don't really know what they're talking about, but just there because they just want a little clout. Yeah, you might need to allow it still. To the women that keep going on the podcast, if you get violated, you're not getting violated. You're just getting taught a lesson to not clout chase. And number 3, I want to see you go on other people's podcasts in the UK. Start going on other people's podcasts and talking. I want to see you on Bobby Kasanga. I want to see you on the Man Them's podcast, Winners podcast, all of them, man.
Bro, I'm not gonna
RTM.
lie.
I want to see you on every single 90s baby. I want to see you on No Behavior. I want to see you on the Man Them's podcast and see what you got to say then. Because that will teach us a lot about who you really are if you can come to the hood and be with the Man Them. Not bring them to your yard and then lie to people and deceive them. Come and be on the Man Them's podcast, yeah? Don't be shook. You bring everyone to your yard, come to the Man Them's podcast.
It's true. If you
That's
believe
my last message. Come to the Man Them's podcast.
Exactly. If you
come to the Man Them's podcast.
in what you stand in, if you believe that what you're standing
Come
on,
to the Man Them's podcast and get challenged.
yeah. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I contacted, Bouncer Play Dirty. I contacted him today. I was like, listen, I want to set up a ring. Like, I want to take her in a ring. I'm not gonna lie.
What?
Wallahi, I'll take her in that ring.
She's like 6'7"
I don't
though.
give a damn. I don't care. I'll still knock her out. I'll still knock that out one time. Wallahi, I'll knock
Man
that
said
out.
that 6'7" girl.
I
Nah,
done
lady.
hit him up. Told him, if you can arrange that, get her in the ring with me. I'll knock her out legally. You know what I'm saying?
Sunday smoke.
Wallahi, like if you're on it,
Hey,
Pearl,
Bouncer, holler at me, bro.
Get them long
Get
legs
me
in
a
that
fight
ring,
with a
bruv.
podcaster, please. Get me a
Alright.
fight with a podcaster.
tell her to get her long legs in the ring, brother.
It's mad. Aye, but listen, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you check out all the episodes, and make sure you go and check out T Siddiqui.
Yeah, check out my channel, T Siddiqui. You see all my music videos there. My album's done. Got new videos coming out soon. So yeah, check out my